Welcome to the podcast editing and support show. My name is Dave. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. We're going to start the episode right now. Happy to have you here. Let's do this. Welcome back to the show. Glad to have you back. It's Dave. Yeah, and I'm a podcast editor. I feel like I'm in a meeting where we're all getting together and admitting that we're podcast editors. Well, I am. And I'd love to edit for you if you're looking for somebody and you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start. Well, I'm an editor and I'm hosting a show about editing, so it's kind of meta. I get it. But if you're looking for an editor, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. If you're an editor and you're looking to hang out with another editor, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have you on the show to talk about what you do and your unique process and who you serve and your stories of being an editor behind the scenes, making people look and sound amazing. If you're an editor, reach out. I'd love to have you on the show as a guest. We'll have a great conversation. We'll be friends. And maybe we can refer work to each other. How about that? Don't do this alone. If you're an editor, reach out. I'd love to have you on the show. Again, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Now, as an editor, supporting podcasters, taking out the ums and the ahs, being a support person and helping people with their show, as a guest, their website, their social media, all that stuff. We basically have our own little small business. And being organized is some people's strength and some people's weakness. So wherever you are on that scale of being an organized person and how you show up in life, this episode is designed to help you, to give you some tips to how to run your small business like a pro so that you can be more effective, get better clients, better paying clients, make better money with your show, whether you are doing this on the weekends, on top of your regular job, or you want to turn this into a livelihood. How can we be more organized as a podcast editor and support person? Well, let's jump in and talk about this. Again, I'm always doing the let's jump in. Let's do a deep dive. There you go. That feels like AI, doesn't it? Let's do a deep dive on practical tips to stay organized as a podcast editor and support person. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get in. Staying organized as a podcast editor and support person, especially when you're juggling tight deadlines and really close client relationships, is really essential for delivering consistent, high-quality results for your clients. I wanted to give you a practical guide, things that I'm working with and what I'm using to help you maybe streamline your workflow and set yourself up for success and set yourself apart from your competition. Let's see what we can come up with together for you and your business. Some practical tips, starting with establishing a clear workflow for you that works for you. See how I did that? One thing that could really help all of us as podcast editing and support people is to standardize our process. Don't recreate the wheel with every new client and every new project. Have a standard workflow and a standard process that we go through, a checklist of sorts that make sure that we cover off every stage in the process of being creative, receiving the files from your client, editing the files, mixing, uploading, delivering, invoicing, a standard procedure for all. Now, it could be tweaked for different situations, but you do have a standard operating procedure, an SOP, as the cool kids would say at lunch. You need some standard operating procedure to make sure everything goes through the right channels and things don't get missed or skipped or bypassed completely. Do you have your own standard process for the tasks that you do? If you don't, then I would suggest you start to document your process for your clients. If you have 1 or 10 or 30 or 100, you document your process for a group of your clients so that you know exactly what you need in what order and giving yourself an idea of the time frame required to do each of the steps. It'll be a great starting point for you as you're building your business so that you understand clearly every client requires this much work based on this much effort and this much time of recording, of editing that I need to do. All these things work together, which will then establish how many clients you could have as a team of one and when it's time to get extra help as your business grows, because it's going to grow. I know it's going to grow. So what is your standard work process for your business as an editor and a support person? There are project management tools. You're going to hear a lot of people share their favorites. There's Trello, Asana, ClickUp. These things help you to visualize your tasks, if that's how you operate. And it helps you to kind of keep deadlines, and it's a communication tool as well. There's Monday. That's another one that I've used with another client. There's a bunch of different tools out there. Pick one that works for you. Understand that your clients, if they're coming to you from another editor, may be used to using a different platform. So it can get a little complicated, but pick the one that you think works best for you. And at the very bare minimum, have your own process mapped out in a Google Sheet with Google Drive links or whatever you need. If cost is prohibitive for you and you can't sign up for some of these tools, then come up with your own way and make it work for you. That's the biggest thing. Your clients are going to need to adjust to your way that you do your show and you do your editing and you do your support. Okay? So create something. Don't wait. And then set realistic deadlines and communicate your deadlines clearly to your clients. If nobody's driving this ship, no one's driving this bus, no one's in control, there's no one at the steering wheel, then your business is just going to go wherever it goes. Someone's got to drive this thing. So it best be you because it's your business. So you need to set the deadlines and communicate clearly to your clients your buffer around your timelines. Build in extra time in your schedule for unexpected delays and revisions and special requests and all the things that aren't part of what normally happens in the process. If it's too tight of a timeline, there's no flexibility there. So leave some room in their process as well. And then confirm your expectations with your client. Always clarify turnaround times and deliverables for your clients in advance. Don't leave it to the end when things are falling apart. Be upfront. Have your clients understand when you're onboarding them to your process, here's what I need and here's when I need it. Confirm those expectations. Everybody agrees. We all shake hands and we're all on the same page. Makes it so much easier. Confirm your expectations up front. Another thing you can do as an editor, and what I like to do, is batch and block out your work. As a podcaster, I love batching my podcasts. Today, I've recorded 7 episodes just today for each of my different podcasts, including this one, which I'm doing right now. I like batching because when I have time to do it, I set up once, I go through, I do all the editing, I do all the recording, I get it all done, post it all, and it gives me the entire month to breathe. So editing and doing all that stuff as a podcaster and recording in batch format, superpower. It's a great way to do this. And we can do the same process as editing and support people by batching similar tasks. Instead of doing one task to the next task to the next, and you have 5 clients, why not do all of the similar tasks together for each of your clients at the same time? So you're in creating the artwork and the YouTube thumbnail and all the information for the shows, and you're in that mode, then do that. You're doing the guesting for your podcasters that you're supporting, and you have multiple people to find shows for, then just batch the guesting component, the emails, the back and forth, and focus on one task for many, instead of doing each task separately. It might be a way for you to do more with less time. So batch similar tasks, edit multiple episodes in one sitting, or schedule all the show note writing for a specific time. And then use time blocking. Dedicate specific hours of each day focused on editing, focused on client communication, focused on podcast support or coaching or whatever. And block it into your calendar so that no one else can rob that time from you because you're dedicated and focused on this specific task on this specific day. It might give you something to work from so that your day doesn't, in your week, doesn't seem so random and you feel like you're just chasing your own tail. Block time in your calendar. Nobody can get in with you. Nobody can schedule time with you because you're focused on fill in the blank. Another thing, automate any repetitive task that you possibly can. So I know there's a lot of people who listen to the show and you use really expensive audio workstation programs, DAWs. You use these really fancy ones and you spend a lot of money on them. I'm using Audacity, which is completely free. And even with Audacity, there are ways for me to do things in batch format and automate something. So I can go through and do all of my edit cleanups for my podcasts with one tool within Audacity, which runs while I'm doing something else. Instead of manually clicking through a set of repeatable steps over and over and again for each file and each everything, I can click one button, go have a coffee, come back, and it's all done. Find a way for you to automate something that you do in a repetitive nature. Use templates for emails, show notes, invoices. Use automated scheduling like Calendly. I love Calendly. Make booking meetings and review things seamlessly. Have Calendly connect to your Zoom account so that every time someone sets up time with you, it automatically generates a Zoom room and sends the link to your client. All of these things are things that you don't have to do on your own, one task at a time. It just happens naturally. When somebody pushes a button or sends an email to you, what happens? When you send an email to somebody, what happens? If there's anything you can do to automate what you do it. Find a way. If you've ever used Microsoft Excel, I know I'm only speaking to a small group of people. If you ever have, there was this beautiful tool called macros. Macros are simply like going into a recording studio where a singer would record and your voice is captured and put on to the song. A macro is simply a recording of steps in order that are done in a repetitive nature. So that you click the macro, run the macro, and it will file, open, save, move, format, color code, do the thing, blah, 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 and close. One click, and it does multiple steps at once. So find a macro, find a way to automate repetitive tasks. It's going to save you so much time, and you could be doing something else while this is happening in the background. Works really well for you. Try it. I'd love to hear your automation tools. Again, podcasteditingandsupport.com. Also, maintain organized file management. Oh, for the non-organized people, you're not going to like this. I'm joking. You'll be fine. The idea about actually having a file management system for how things are stored, kept, and sorted within your ecosystem as a podcast editing and support person, you need a way to keep track. And your file names just need to make sense. Could have dates built into the file name. It could have the client name. It could be episode names. It could be all kinds of different things that you're doing. It has to make sense at a glance and be sortable. So when you're in your files and you can just click on a sort by date, you can sort by title. All of these things are going to help you to be a little bit more organized and you're not chasing down something you can't find. Consistent naming conventions always help. Name files by the show, the episode number, the date. All of these things help for easy retrieval. Think of you trying to find it in the future. Make it easy for yourself by how you store it. Use cloud storage, which is easy to share with your clients. I love Google Drive. There's Dropbox. There's Box.com, all these other ones I've heard of. I just use Google because it comes with my emails and it works. So why fix it? Why change it? But use cloud storage if you want to communicate files back and forth with your clients. Cool, easy thing to do, and really safe. I love it. Also, number 6 is track your progress and your accountability. So what do I mean by this? Track your daily and weekly check-ins. Review your to-do list at the start of each day and at the end of each day to see where you are. And then your client updates as well. Send regular progress updates to your clients. Have that built into your workflow, that you give updates. You let people know where you're at with the process. What you don't want is your client sitting there wondering if you even got your last email. Some way of checking in and your clients having a vision to where you are in the process, super helpful, and creates a feeling of security for your podcaster who may be the editor in the past of their own show. Now they're handing it over to you and they're like, I know I can do it better, but I'll try. You need to be the person who sets it all up for them and makes it super easy so that at a glance they can see where you're at and you're meeting your timelines. Update your clients, right? Talk to them. They want to hear from you. And last, prioritize your own self-care and give yourself downtime. So I know you're a hero. You can do everything. You don't need a break. But for the rest of us, having some downtime is really good. We need to set boundaries. We need to define our own working hours so that we're not working till 3 in the morning and then back up at 7 a.m. to continue. You need to set some parameters for you and your work-life balance because it's your business. And if you fail and you get sick or you get burnt out, there's nobody coming for you. You need to have something in place for you to have boundaries and schedule some breaks to avoid burnout. As a business owner serving clientele, you need to have some way to avoid burnout by taking regular breaks and a day off. I know that feels weird, right? Why would I take a day off? I could make more money. Well, again, you need a break. So when you had a job, or if you currently have a job, they give you holiday time. Why? Because they want you to stick around. And it's part of your pay for most of us. So when you break out on your own and you create your own business, and if you don't work, you don't make money, you still need to bank some income, bank some time to take a break. Please. Regularly review your systems. Refine how you do what you do. It's going to get better over time, and you're going to learn things as you review it. Again, keep your hands on the steering wheel and make sure you know where your business is going. What works today might not need tweaking as your client list grows or your services evolve. Staying flexible and proactive as a podcast editing and support person is just as important as having a great routine. Because we're friends, I'm going to include for you a sample routine template for podcast editors and support pros. Some of these things I'm using, some of them things I'm tweaking for myself in my business, but at least it's a start. It's a Monday through Friday schedule broken in chunks by day. It also has some daily habits and some bonus tips as well. If you are interested in this, I'm not going to talk about it here, but it's going to be in the show notes. So jump into the show notes attached to this episode. You'll see it on your phone. You'll see wherever you're listening. And if you want this emailed to you, just let me know, podcasteditingandsupport.com. I will send this to you so you have a copy of this as well. But here is a template in the show notes just for you, a sample weekly routine template for podcast editors and support pros. It's there for you. If you want it, it's right there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. If I can be any service to you, reach out to me. And if you're a podcast editor and support person, no matter what you do, I would love to have you on the show and pick your brain, learn from you, see what works for you and your clients, and show people what you are and who you are so we can send people your way. Podcasteditingandsupport.com is my website. I'd love to meet you there. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Podcast Editing and Support Show. Visit us at podcasteditingandsupport.com, podcasteditingandsupport.com. We would love to help you find a great podcast editor, or if you want to hire us, we would love to work with you. Podcasteditingandsupport.com. Catch you on the next episode. Take care.